Cliff Richard, born Harry Roger Webb on October 14, 1940, in Lucknow, India, is a figure who needs no introduction in the world of British music. His journey began with humble roots. In 1948, his family moved back to England after Indian independence, settling in post-war Britain. Growing up in Chasehunt, Hertfordshire, during the struggles of the time, Cliff's love for music, especially American rock and roll, became the spark that would ignite his legendary career. Elvis Presley and Little Richard were his early inspirations. By 1958, Cliff Richard burst onto the music scene with his debut single, Move It, a track that changed British rock forever. This track is now seen as the first authentic British rock and roll song. It was this iconic beginning that would lead to his lasting impact on the music world. The rise of Cliff Richard and the Shadows. Cliff Richard's rise was meteoric. His raw, energetic sound with the Shadows, his backing band, became the face of British rock and roll in the late 1950s and early 1960s. Their blend of Cliff's smooth vocals with the Shadows' brilliant instrumentals created a unique sound that dominated the charts for years. Hits like Living Doll, Travelin' Light, and Please Don't Tease became anthems of youth culture in the UK. By the time the Beatles emerged, Cliff had already made his mark as a musical pioneer. Despite the Beatles' rise to fame, Cliff Richard remained relevant throughout the 1960s, adapting his style and voice. He transitioned from rock and roll to pop ballads and even gospel, remaining a versatile and beloved figure throughout the years. Cliff Richard's spiritual influence on his music. Cliff's conversion to Christianity in the 1960s was a pivotal moment in his life. It not only transformed his personal beliefs, but also had a profound impact on his music. His faith led him to create several gospel albums, reflecting the new direction his life had taken. His Christian values permeated his work, providing him with a moral compass in an industry often known for scandal. This authenticity and honesty in his music won him the respect of his peers and fans alike. Cliff's achievements over 6 decades are staggering. Selling over 250 million records worldwide, he became one of the best-selling music artists of all time. His status as the first rock star to be knighted in 1995 is a testament to his legacy, alongside numerous other accolades and honors. Cliff Richard's continued influence and recognition. Throughout his career, Cliff Richard managed to stay relevant by continuously reinventing himself. While many artists from the 1950s and 1960s faded, Cliff remained a consistent presence on radio and television. His albums and tours connected with fans of all ages, transcending generations. Cliff's success is evident in his ability to have a top 5 hit in the UK every decade from the 1950s to the 2010s, something few other artists have achieved. His honors and awards, including Ivor Novello Awards and Brit Awards, reflect both his musical and charitable contributions. Beyond the accolades, Cliff became a symbol of professionalism, humility, and class in the music industry, a rare figure who remained true to his roots while adapting to the evolving times. Cliff Richard's dedication to his craft and his fans. Even in his later years, Cliff Richard's energy and enthusiasm remained undiminished. He continued to tour, record, and connect with his fans across the world. His concerts were filled with nostalgia, joy, and heartfelt gratitude. Cliff's ability to create meaningful experiences for his audience set him apart. His performances weren't just concerts, they were celebrations of a lifetime spent creating music that connected deeply with people. In 2013, Cliff proved his musical magic was still alive with the fabulous Rock and Roll Songbook, an album that paid tribute to the golden era of rock and roll. This nostalgic yet vibrant album quickly became a hit, charting at number 7 in the UK and going gold. Fans old and new embraced Cliff's tribute to the genre that had shaped his career. A continued legacy. Cliff Richard's rock and roll. Spirit Cliff's career showed no signs of slowing down as he released another album in 2016, Just Fabulous Rock and Roll. The album continued his celebration of the genre that had launched his career, blending youthful energy with the polished maturity of a seasoned performer. One of the highlights of the album was a virtual duet with Elvis Presley, which stirred deep emotions among fans worldwide. The album's success was undeniable, reaching number 4 on the UK album charts and selling over 100,000 copies. Cliff Richard's ability to remain relevant, exciting, and connected to his fans is what sets him apart. His albums, from 2018's Rise Up to 2020's Music, The Air That I Breathe, showcased his ongoing versatility and connection to the music he loved. Cliff Richard and George Harrison, a friendship of respect and spirituality. Now, at 85, Cliff Richard reflects on the friendships that have shaped his life and career. One of the most significant relationships he had was with George Harrison, the quiet and spiritual Beatle. Cliff and George's paths first crossed in the early 1960s, when Cliff was already a musical superstar and the Beatles were just beginning to rise. Their initial meeting was not glamorous, but meaningful. George, who was known for his shyness, was someone Cliff immediately admired for his humility and depth. Their bond grew over time, rooted in mutual respect for artistry and spirituality. Despite their different religious beliefs, Cliff's rooted in Christianity and George's in Hinduism, they often spoke about faith and the search for truth. Cliff fondly remembers George telling him, "All paths lead to the same place if your heart is right." These profound conversations shaped their friendship. The spiritual connection between Cliff Richard and George Harrison. While both men achieved immense fame, their friendship was built on a deeper connection. Cliff recalls how George's spiritual journey often led him to seek peace through meditation and Eastern philosophy, while Cliff's faith in Christianity remained central to his life. Despite their different paths, both men sought the same thing: love, peace, and truth. Their shared experiences and mutual respect created a bond that went beyond their fame. George's search for inner peace inspired Cliff to reflect more deeply on his own music and message. Their conversations about spirituality were some of the most meaningful in Cliff's life. Even as both men faced intense public scrutiny, they found comfort in their shared understanding of life's deeper questions. The legacy of George Harrison in Cliff Richard's life. After George's untimely passing in 2001, Cliff Richard was profoundly affected. Though they didn't see each other regularly, George's presence in his life had been a lasting one. Cliff admired George not only as a Beatle, but as a man who stayed true to his spiritual beliefs despite the pressures of fame. Cliff reflects that George's ability to step away from the limelight and find peace in his personal life was something he deeply admired. George had the courage to disappear from the public eye when he needed, something that Cliff never quite managed, as he always loved performing. However, George's example taught him the value of humility, spirituality, and staying true to oneself. Cliff Richard's tribute to George Harrison, a connection beyond fame. Looking back, Cliff Richard acknowledges that George Harrison was one of the few people in the music world who truly understood the complexities of fame and spirituality. Their friendship was built on respect, shared values, and a deep understanding of the pressures both men faced. For Cliff, George's legacy is one of peace, love, and the importance of staying grounded. Now, at 85, Cliff reflects on this friendship with gratitude, recognizing the profound influence George had on his life. In his twilight years, Cliff's reflections on George are not just a tribute to a fellow musician, but to a man who embodied the very qualities of peace and truth they both sought.